Welcome to the Property Elite podcast. I'll be your host, Jen Lehman, chartered surveyor and co-founder of Property Elite. Stay tuned each week for more on industry hot topics, market updates and new RICS guidance.
In this week's blog, we look at the top tip for writing up your RICS APC or Associate RICS final assessment submission using the active voice. This is important as you need to write up your submission concisely and clearly. This includes telling a logical and coherent story about what you did, level 2, and advised, level 3. Using the active voice rather than the passive voice will help you to do this. So what is the active voice? The Cambridge Dictionary defines the active voice as the grammatical form in which the subject performs the action of the verb. In contrast, when using the passive voice, the subject has the action of the verb done to it. Here is an example. I am sitting my APC interview in March. Active voice. The APC interview will be sat by me in March. Passive voice. Which is written more concisely and which is easier to follow? Why should I use the active voice? The passive voice is sometimes used by candidates to sound more formal, or it is the voice used in professional reports. For example, the property was built in 1965. This is absolutely fine as we are interested in when the property was built, not who built it, who is unknown or whose identity is irrelevant. In the case of a professional client report, we are interested in the facts and the passive voice communicates this effectively. However, the overall effect of using the passive voice in your RICS APC or Associate RICS submission is that your work becomes less direct and harder to follow. It also becomes less relevant to you, which in our view creates a barrier and detachment with the reader, your assessors. The passive voice also tends to use more words than the active voice, contrary to trying to write concisely within the RICS word counts. So ensure that you use the active voice to tell an engaging, concise story to your assessors about your experience. How do I know which voice I am using? Typically, if you are writing in the passive voice, then the word by will feature in your sentences, as seen in the previous example. To rewrite your work in the active voice, focus on who the subject is, for example, you, so write I, and then add in the verb and the object. I hate grammar. Some of us love it, some of us hate it. If you hate it, why not download an app such as Grammarly? It's a game changer if you find grammar hard to get your head around or if you need support in structuring your sentences effectively. Which do you prefer? Active voice. I used a laser dystometer to measure a retail shop in Bristol. I took sufficient dimensions to calculate the net internal area back in the office. I excluded the WCs and took check measurements for accuracy. Passive voice. A retail shop in Bristol was measured using a laser dystometer. Sufficient dimensions were taken to calculate the net internal area back in the office. The WCs were excluded and check measurements were taken for accuracy. The active voice is far easier to understand and concisely conveys what you did and how to level 2. It makes it easier for your assessors to understand your experience and examples, and it will thus allow better questions to be asked.
Thanks for listening to the Property Elite podcast this week. Head to our website to check out our full blog, free and paid support resources and services, free consultation for every single RICS APC and AssocRICS candidate, and also ask us any questions you have via the website chat blog. See you next week.